Joining us now is one of 300 charities and nonprofits supported on the Share Detroit platform. It's Beyond Basics. Gabriella Berman joins us on the program. They're Director of Communications, Marketing, and Events at the organization Beyond Basics, with us now on the Megacast. Gabriella, thank you for being with us today.
Good morning. It's nice to see you again, Tyler.
Yeah, good to see you as well. So for those that have not tuned in before or not familiar with Beyond Basics, tell us about your organization and the services it provides.
We provide intensive literacy intervention to students who are reading below their grade level. We do this one-on-one, an hour a day, 5 days a week in the school setting with a trained staff tutor. And the relationships that build between the tutors and the students and the work that they do together achieve success in an average of 6 to 10 weeks.
And so who are these services available to?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
What are these services available to?
The services are available to K-12 students throughout metropolitan Detroit. And we have grown this year and are looking forward to further expansion next year.
So what part of the tutoring that is available is one-on-one multi-sensory tutoring. Can you explain what that is?
Sure. So when the senses of sight, sound, and hearing work in concert together, it helps students to retain the lessons. They're learning phonics-based concepts in a systematic way. And by moving tactile boards in a hands-on approach, which I actually have a visual aid today to show you, and learning the rules, they absorb the lesson. They learn short vowels, long vowels, diphthongs, vowel tagging, and the relationships between the sounds we hear and speak to the written, graphically represented combinations on the page really is what leads to reading. And when a child's knowledge and comprehension and vocabulary and reading intertwine strongly like a rope, that child becomes unstoppable. And so we have our academic program supplemented by enrichment activities in the arts and publishing, so that as a child is learning the academic program, they're also getting expanding horizons activities that accelerate their knowledge, that deepen their connections to the world around them, and really accelerate the growth and the learning that they accomplish in our program.
We're joined by Gabriella.
Become unstoppable.
We're joined by Gabriella Berman, the Director of Communications, Marketing, and Events at Beyond Basics, joining us on the Michigan Megacast. More information can be found on Beyond Basics at Share Detroit's website at sharedetroit.org. Just go to their Find a Nonprofit section and search Beyond Basics to learn more about the organization, get in contact with them, and explore opportunities for education and tutoring with them, job opportunities, as well as volunteer opportunities as well. ShareDetroit.org is the website. In a recent article on Chalkbeat Detroit, it discussed Beyond Basics' relationship with the Detroit Public Schools Community District to help tutor struggling students in the city. Can you talk about that relationship, how that developed, and what benefit your organization is bringing to kids in Detroit schools?
Sure. We have been partnering with schools in the metropolitan Detroit for 20 years. We have a very long track record of success in both public and non-public schools, and we're excited to expand further throughout the state in the coming months. Looking forward to fall 2022. And we have tracked, our data has shown since 2008 specifically, that our students in an average of 6 to 10 weeks achieve grade level growth in reading, on average 2 grade levels of growth, and sometimes many more. And these are students who feel confident when they graduate, and the barriers that once kept them from reading the street signs to get home or buying groceries in the supermarket fall away. Their self-esteem increases, the despair gives way to courage. So we have a long history in the district. We are privileged and proud to partner with the principals and the educators who give us a space in the classroom. And we will continue to do that for many years to come. There are a lot of children to serve. And it all begins with a diagnostic assessment that's essential to the work that we do. Once we learn the areas of opportunity for a student to work on in phonics and oral fluency and decoding, that tutor who sits side by side with them one-on-one, an hour a day, 5 days a week, they really maximize their time together. And our students tell us that they then have the courage to face whatever comes their way in the world. And our alumni go on to, we have stories of people working, they move across the states and they take jobs in new areas, and they just have so much confidence. And it's really beautiful, beautiful to see. And the way that we solve the problem of the many students in our schools who can't read is really to care for each and every individual child. And that's what I think these Shared Detroit, nonprofits do. You mentioned 300 nonprofits. They all have such a heart for their mission. And I think that collectively we can all do so much. And we just have to have the mindset that it starts with changing the life of one person at a time.
We're joined by Gabriella Berman, the Director of Communications, Marketing, and Events at Beyond Basics, a Shared Detroit-supported charity and nonprofit. More information in a couple of places. SharedDetroit.org is where you can find information on them, and 299 other charities and nonprofits in the Metro Detroit area supported on the platform, or by going to their website directly at beyondbasics.org. That's beyondbasics.org for more information directly from this 501c3 nonprofit organization. And Gabriella, it's pretty significant what you had said, that this progress that's being made through these tutoring programs can be seen in just a few weeks, and it can be as much as several grade levels of an adjustment, even bringing them back to where they should be at their own grade level. How is it that this kind of progress can be made so quickly and to fill these gaps? And if that is possible with programs like this, why aren't they more widespread?
That's the million-dollar question, Tyler. We have been fortunate that we have had both public and private support from people who do have a heart for children, and people who say that this kind of intensive literacy intervention can be a beacon of light for the nation. And we need more of those people to help us expand our growth to serve as many students as possible. It can be done. It can be done. It has been done. We have story after story, plus years and decades worth of data now to show that starting with the essential diagnostic assessment and the individualized learning plan, or prescription as we call it, for each student, in as little as 6 weeks, you can see the effects of what we call highest dosage tutoring. So it's not the after school, it's not small group work, it's not a couple of hours after week. The maximal participation, I think, plus the relationship with that one-on-one tutor really makes the difference. It's that sustained relationship, working day by day, hour after hour, in that concentrated fashion, gets the students reading.
And then over the pandemic, reading other forms of education really took a hit, and especially schools in less advantaged areas where they didn't have access to technology to be able to do virtual learning, or to the means to connect to that virtual learning. Certainly not to in-person tutoring that can be so helpful in these situations. How did your organization then adjust to continue to provide these services that became even more critical because of COVID-19?
Right. So this is where we continue to kind of sing the praises of our staff, and we need more of them, and I'll get to that in a little while. But like every other organization and institution, we had to immediately switch to online tools. The Woodcock Mastery Reading Test has an online version, and that is what we started to use to do the initial assessment of the students. We trained all of our staff in using Zoom, from setting up appointments to maximizing your environment in which you delivered your services, to troubleshooting, and to effectively teaching students who on the other end were probably, in many cases, working from a small smartphone screen. We provided all of our staff with laptops and headsets, and our staff really left no stone unturned in trying to reach students. We all know attendance suffered during the pandemic. connectivity was a barrier to learning. And so day in and day out, our tutors really used every tool at their disposal to boost attendance for our students, because attendance is a key component that leads to success. And we had great outcomes that year, despite all of the challenges. And of course, we were fortunate to be able to return to in-person instruction this year.
How critical is it going forward that Beyond Basics and organizations like it continue to have access to people that are willing to take on the challenge of being a tutor, the time commitment that goes in, and personal commitment that goes into being a tutor, to continue to provide the services at the rate it's going at, but also to expand those services so that more kids can get access to these really critical programs and services that are provided?
Right. It is critical, and we are hiring reading tutors on an ongoing basis. We're actually accepting applicants now. So if anyone would like to learn about the position, we encourage them to visit our careers page at beyondbasics.org. You can find us also on social media platforms and get in touch with us that way. Our training is rigorous. It's in a supportive environment, and there's continued professional development and support once a tutor is deployed in the field. So we invest a lot in our tutors. They join a wonderful team, and there are opportunities for growth. It's a great position for someone who is interested in making a difference in the lives of the young people in our communities, and thereby transforming really our surrounding areas and our whole state. It's a critical time for Michigan.
We're joined by Gabriella Berman, the Director of Communications, Marketing, and Events at Beyond Basics, joining us on the Michigan Megacast. More information on Beyond Basics, including opportunities at the organization, by visiting sharedetroit.org or beyondbasics.org to learn more and get in contact with the organization. So if people are interested in becoming tutors, of course, we gave out the websites. What sort of steps do they need to go through in order to express that interest in their tutoring, go through the process of potentially becoming a tutor with Beyond Basics?
So they'll go through an inquiry process with our HR department, and they'll, if selected, come in for an interview. We really we take people from all walks of life, a multi-generational staff. It's really a very dynamic set of individuals who become a collective. And once employed, they become part of a team. So we have teams of tutors working in every location, and they really form a bond, and they develop the secret sauce that works for their unique location with their set of students. And they have a supervisor who mentors them. And really, it's a great job that makes a difference based on an approach that is proven. So we really encourage listeners to become a tutor or refer a tutor, and we look forward to speaking with any of those people.
We're joined by Gabriella Berman. She is the Director of Communications, Marketing, and Events at Beyond Basics, joining us on the Michigan Megacast. Just another minute or so with you before we'll say goodbye today, Gabriella. Anything else that we haven't discussed yet that the audience should know about Beyond Basics, or things we should be keeping a lookout for from your organization?
Oh, just think about the child in your life and how that child is learning to read, or the resources that may need to be allocated to help that child learn to read, and extend that grace and adopt that mindset that everyone deserves the opportunity to master the foundational skills that enable them to access the education that's being provided to them. Once we get that going, we can, turn the page on the crisis of illiteracy in our nation, improve literacy rates at every level. Fourth grade is a level that we tend to look at the most because it's a predictor of future success. And let's flip the narrative for these students so that they can, unlock this power of reading, access their education, graduate, and be able to pursue the workforce and post-secondary education opportunities that really help them achieve their dreams, become productive members of society and contribute the way these many wonderful Shared Detroit nonprofits are all working to make that happen for all of us in so many ways.
Gabriella, thank you very much for joining us. Appreciate your time.
Always a pleasure, Tyler. Thank you.